morning, guys. What would you do if a robot came to tea? Just look at me and a robot you will see. Robots at attention, robots let's begin. Right arm, left arm, turn around, sit down. Find a cozy spot because we are about to do circle time. I'm so excited to show you a new number poem. We have done 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and today we get to learn 5. Stoked. Okay, 5 goes like so. It's kind of an easy one to remember. Short neck, tummy fat. Number 5, he wears a hat. Let's do a big one. Short neck, tummy fat. Number 5, he wears a hat. So you put his hat on last. All right, we're going to come back to that one. Let's start with 0. Go right around just like an O. That's how you make a 0. Number 1 is like a stick, a straight line down that's very quick. Make a candy cane and then a shoe. That's the way to make a 2. Around the tree, that's the way to make a 3. Down, across, and down once more. That's the way to make a 4. Ready for our new one? Short neck, tummy fat. Number 5, he wears a hat. Nice job, guys. All right, our new letter of the week is E. We're working on the vowels. We have already done E, and it made an sound. E can also make a long E sound, which is E, like eel, or Easter, or eat, or eek when you're scared. E. Last week we did O, so O can make ah or O, and E can make or E. All right. Some of you I know have been waiting for this. I'm kind of excited to share it with you. I know Campbell's going to remember it. Maybe Josie too. The Mermaid. It's a mermaid poem. The mermaid lives deep under the sea. You don't know where she hides. An underwater kingdom maybe, and on a seahorse she rides. Let's do it again. The Mermaid. The mermaid lives deep under the sea. You don't know where she hides. An underwater kingdom maybe, and on a seahorse she rides. Nice work. We will definitely do more work with that mermaid poem. 5 little fish went out one day. Should I put my fish up on the board? I think I should. Hermie's just going to have to come down and wait. Let's put our 5 fish up. It's so fun to use these fish. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 little fish went out one day, over the waves and far away. Mama fish said, blub, 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 blub. But only 4 little fish swam back. 4 little fish swam out one day, over the waves and far away. Mother fish said, blub, 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 blub. But only 3 little fish came back. 3 little fish swam out one day, over the waves and far away. Mama fish said, blub, 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 blub. But only 2 little fish swam back. 2 little fish went out one day, over the waves and far away. Mama fish said, blub, and far away. Mama Fish said, blub, 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 blub. But none of the 5 little fish swam back. Okay, now this is where we have a choice. Do we want sad mama or mad mama? Some kids like to do mad mama. Kepler, do you think we should do mad? Okay. So mad Mama Fish swam out one day over the waves and far away. And mad Mama Fish said, blub, blub, blub. And all 5 fish came swimming back. I have to say, if Kepler and Senna didn't come when I called them, they might get mad fish. Definitely be sad if something happened to them. But if they don't listen to their mama, they might get mad mama fish. Okay. Our story of this guy that you saw up there, this is Herman, you guys. And you might not know what he is because he doesn't have his shell on. He's a hermit crab. Now, usually when we're in school, I hand you all a piece of this story and you help tell it. So I'm going to have to tell it all by myself today, which is kind of tricky for me because I love it when you guys come up with funny stuff. But we're going to do it and it's still going to be a good story, okay? So once upon a time, there lived a hermit crab named Herman. The sad thing is he didn't have a shell. He had grown out of the shell that he had when he was little. And it didn't fit anymore, so he discarded it and he was wandering around the ocean. He was way up at the top of the ocean in the sunlight zone when he happened upon a duck floating at the top of the ocean. Mr. Duck, I'm looking for a brand new shell, one that would fit me well. Have you seen one? And the duck said, quack, quack. Well, I don't have a shell. I don't wear a shell, but maybe you could go look at that seaweed over there. So off Herman went to check out the seaweed. He got there, but there was no shell. Oh, well. He happened upon a fish. Excuse me, Mrs. Fish. Mrs. Fish, I am looking for a shell that will fit me well. Have you seen one? Blub, blub. I don't wear a shell. I haven't been looking for one, but maybe you could go look over by that coral over there. So off he went. And he looked, but he didn't find any shell. Oh, well. While he was there, he did meet a little snail. Little snail, I'm looking for my shell. I need a shell that will fit me well. Snail says, ooh, I have a shell. Look at my bag, I have a shell, but it will not fit you well. Herman looked at him and said, I know, that shell is very tiny. I could never fit in that. Plus, you need it. But have you seen any other shells that are bigger? The little snail thought for a little bit. He said, you know, I think when I was over there by those rocks, I saw a shell. The rocks were far away, and Herman almost wanted to give up because he had looked at the seaweed, he'd looked at the coral, he'd talked to the fish, he had talked to the duck, and now he talked to the snail, and he was getting kind of discouraged. I guess I'll make the journey. So he traveled and traveled and traveled, all the while hoping nothing would eat him in the ocean, all the way over to the rocks. He looked and he looked and he looked and he looked, and you will not guess what he saw, you guys. He saw the most glorious shell he'd ever seen. He wiggled his bottom into it, and it fit him well. I found a shell, I found a shell, I found a shell, said Herman. Oh, I'm so happy. The end. Now, you guys, why would it be important for a hermit crab to have a shell? Oh, yeah. He's quite vulnerable and squishy in here, and something could eat him right up. But if he has a shell, he can pull himself in and hide real nice from predators. He needs it. protection. I love that story. There is another kind of crustacean, a crustacean in the ocean, who doesn't have a skeleton on the inside of its body. It has it on the outside. It's a lobster or a crab. Both of them have skeletons on the outside, an exoskeleton. Our skeletons are on the inside. Crabs and lobsters have them on the outside. Never shake hands with a lobster. It isn't a wise thing to do. With a clippity clap and a snippity snap, it will snip all your fingers in two. Yikes. All right, we are going to work a little bit with the ocean layers, so I'm going to meet you at the table. All right, guys, I have got little bottles here that have colors of our ocean layers we've been talking about. We know way at the top there is the sunlight zone. The sunlight zone, as you can tell with this bottle, can you see that well? It's light. There's a lot of light getting in at the top of the ocean. That sun shines down and you can see it. That's where creatures like the dolphin lives. It gets a little deeper and the water gets darker. This one is the twilight zone. It's a little darker, a little colder, and that's where creatures like the octopus are going to live. This one gets darker still. The midnight zone is what we are going to talk about at Zoom tomorrow. The midnight zone is quite dark. I even read that there's really not a lot of light at all. You can tell it's much darker than the twilight zone. So the midnight zone gets darker, and there's animals like crabs and things down there. If you go even deeper, we're going to talk about the abyss. Now the abyss is so dark, there's no light. This is where fish that have luminescence, they have to make their own light. It's so dark down there, they need to make their own light to see. And then, darker still is the trench. Now you'll notice, I don't even have a creature that lives down in the trench. I looked up the trench, it's very mysterious. They talked about tube worms that live down there because they live by these things called black smokers. And the black smokers at the bottom of the ocean, they let off this hot water. Kind of comes out, and the tube worms love the warmth of it. So they live down there where it's very cold, but they live close to those black smokers. I didn't have a tube worm, and they're kind of tricky. You don't really find a lot of toys with tube worms. So I left it blank because, another reason, there are so many creatures in the ocean that we haven't even discovered them all, especially down deep where people have a hard time going. So there might be a creature down there that you would discover one day if you become someone who studies creatures into the ocean. We are going to read a story about fish. So Kepler's going to get comfortable, and we're going to finish up our circle time with a story about fish. Now this is a story that is true. So it's a non-fiction book about fish, and we're going to find out some cool stuff. We good to go, Kepler? All right. A fish is an animal that lives in the water. Most fish live in the ocean because the ocean is humongous, has tons of life. Did you know that the ocean water is salty? Salty, salty. You can see the swordfish up here. Tons of different kinds. Other fish live in rivers, lakes, and streams. Did you know that rivers, lakes, and streams are not salty? So the ocean is salty, but rivers and lakes like Lake Washington, they do not have salt in them. So different kinds of fish live there. There are fish of all shapes. Look at this seahorse, you guys. That's the one that the mermaid wrote in our poem. There's a pufferfish. Some kind of ray. And I've seen that one before, but I'm not sure what that is, what it's called. It's very exotic looking. And there's fish of all different colors. Red, yellow, and purple. This looks like a husky fish. Just purple, and then clownfish like Nemo. All fish know how to swim. Did you know that tuna are among the fastest swimmers in the ocean? They move their tails from side to side to help them go fast. And all fish have fins. Fins help fish twist and turn in the water. And all fish have gills. Did you know gills let fish breathe under the water? Water comes in their mouth and out their gills. And fish need food. Did you know many fish have big, sharp teeth? I'm sure you could think of a few fish that have big, sharp teeth. But fish often eat little fish. Big fish often eat little fish. Look at this big fish eating the little fish. That looks crazy. Most fish lay eggs in the water. Look, a baby fish is hatching from this egg. So are fish mammals? No, they're not. Mammals are born alive. These ones are born from eggs. Some fish grow really big, like this whale shark. The whale shark is the biggest fish in the sea. It's humongous, you guys. We were talking on our Zoom meeting and I saw a picture of, this is what I was talking about, that giant mouth open and just scooping along the water. Many fish stay small. Did you know that the goby is the smallest fish? Look at it, it's so tiny, you guys. It's so teeny tiny. Some fish swim alone, like the starfish, and others swim in large groups. If you have a large group of fish, it's called a school of fish. That's kind of like us. You're just a kid, but when you go with a bunch of other kids to illuminate, it's a school. It's a little bit like us. They swim near the top of the water, or some swim near the bottom. They can be found in cold ice water or in warm water. Like this guy, he caught a fish. Fish need rest, but did you know fish sleep with their eyes open? Do any fish live in your house? Some of you might have seen fish like in fish tanks in your doctor's office or something like that. The end. That's the end of our fish book. I will see you guys for Zoom tomorrow. Don't forget to bring a creature that lives in the midnight zone. Midnight zone creature. Bring it for sharing from Zoom, okay? Bye, guys.